You can find a lot of gold with a metal detector, and I've done lots of videos on nugget detecting for gold. I do them regularly all the time, and I find a lot of gold with my detectors. But I get asked by people, I'm new, I'm thinking about getting into nugget detecting. What metal detector should I buy? And I've done whole videos talking about all the different considerations, and of course one of the biggest one is, what's your budget, right? Are you on a real tight budget? And, I remember when I was younger and had kids at home and lots going on and trying to build a financial, stability in my life. And I didn't have a lot of money for a metal detector. I had to keep my kids in clothes and school and everything else, right? So, I just didn't have a lot of money for that kind of thing. But as I've got older, I have more money and I have quite a collection of metal detectors. But what would I recommend right now for new guys getting in? Mostly, we tend to recommend VLF type detectors because, to be honest, VLF detectors they're less expensive. When you're looking at what they call pulse induction type of detectors, they generally are significantly more expensive. And there's a range, of course. The most expensive one, I did a video on it recently and use it a lot myself, is $9,500, which that's pretty expensive. But, there's other things that are out there that are far cheaper. So we're going to kind of compare for a recommendation. My two recommendations for if you're a new guy getting into gold detecting, it's the Gold Monster 1000 and the Goldbug Tracker by Fisher. This is the Gold Monsters by Minelab, the Goldbug Trackers by Fisher. I'm not a dealer. I don't sell metal detectors. I don't care what you buy, and then there certainly are other detectors on the market. If you're going to tell me, hey, Chris, I have a so-and-so and I like mine better. And it's like, okay, great. Everybody gets an opinion. You're welcome to have your opinion. This video is about my opinion. So, that's what I'm going to give you is, and I've used a lot of detectors over the years and I've been doing this for decades. So it's not that, and I know enough, honestly, that a lot of metal detector companies have used me to test their new products. So, my opinion is not completely worthless, but I've done testing for Minelab and I've done testing for Fisher and I've done some testing for Garrett. But I'm going to recommend these two. There are other detectors on the market. I'm not trying to say there aren't. But my first choice, and I'm going to give you the reasons, are these two. Now, the Gold Monster 1000 is significantly more expensive. New, it lists for around $850. And the Goldbug Tracker, less expensive, it lists for around $300. And so, yes, the Gold Monster is much more expensive, but it's a much more powerful detector. Really, the Goldbug Tracker, it's easy to use. I recommend it. Both these detectors are easy to use, and I recommend them because of the fact that they're so easy to use. One of the things about VLFs is that they're more sensitive to hot rocks and ground mineralization and other stuff. And so that's one of the advantages of the PIs is that they're able to go over ground mineralization and hot rocks and ignore them most of the time. But the VLFs, like I say, less expensive. But this one, the Goldbug Tracker, has automatic ground balance, and it's good. It's sensitive. It's reasonably sensitive. The smallest nugget that it'll find is around 1/10 of a gram, which is about a $10 nugget. Okay. But you can easily, if you're out there and you learn the skills of prospecting, you can find easily enough gold to pay for your Goldbug Tracker. The other option that I'm going to talk about today is the Gold Monster 1000 by Minelab. And this detector, it comes with 2 coils. It's $500 more, right? Which that's pretty expensive, but it's much more sensitive. This detector will see gold down to a couple of hundredths of a gram. something like that, maybe a 1/100th of a gram. So it'll see dollar nuggets, whereas the smallest the other one will see is a $10 nugget. This will see $5 nuggets that the other one won't see, right? So it's much more sensitive. It comes with two different coils. This is a small round coil, but it also comes with a larger coil. So you get two coils for the price of the detector. And it also has automatic ground balance. So when you go over mineralized areas, it will automatically compensate. In fact, it also has another feature where it has automatic gain adjustment. One of the things about VLF detectors, a lot of guys tend to put the gain up. I mean, you don't want to see small gold, right? So turn the gain up to the maximum. The problem with that is the higher you set the gain, the more you're going to see that ground mineralization and hot rocks. And so the Gold Monster actually has a feature where it will adjust the amount of gain or amplification and it's amplification of the signal. It's not amplification of sound. It's not the loudness of the sound that the machine makes. It's gain and amplification of the signal in the ground that the target gives. And so it'll literally adjust that for you. And that makes it not only easy to operate, but it keeps it even better in balance, better in line, because if you get into a highly mineralized area, the machine will sense it and turn your gain down for you. Now you say, well, I don't want to turn my gain down. Okay, you can run it that way too. I have run it where I've done it in automatic, and then I get some area where I maybe think I have some weak target. I turn the automatic gain adjustment off and turn it to maximum, and then listen that way. So you get the choice. You don't have to go with one. You can go with either of them. Now, I do like the Monster. I will say that I use the Monster more, but I do have both detectors, so it's just a matter of which I like better. And honestly, if you can afford a more expensive, you can afford $850 for a metal detector, this is a better choice. If you're on a tighter budget and you really can't do $850, then this is a good choice too. One of the advantages with this is you can get the larger coil. It doesn't come for the 300 with the larger coil, but if you spend, it's around 150, I think, for the larger coil, and it's similar in size to the MineLab one. If you get the larger coil for that, for the extra 150, it makes a pretty decent coin machine. So you could take it out into parks and schools, and you can look for lost coins, lost jewelry, rings, and stuff like that. And so it's maybe a little more versatile as far as things you can do with it. This would not be as good a choice for coins and parks and jewelry and that kind of stuff. Good machine, but for gold, definitely better if you can afford it. The other one, cheaper, but again, like I say, if you spend the extra money, another $150 over the 300 to get the second coil for it, it makes a good coin and jewelry type machine with that larger coil. The reason I say don't use a smaller coil for coins and jewelries is we talked about hot rocks and mineralization, is that the bigger the coil on these VLFs, the tender, the more the mineralization they tend to see. So, and that one, because it's a little less sensitive and has really good discrimination. This one has good discrimination too, if you use discrimination. Both these machines do. But that one, like I say, would be if I wanted to choose which one of these I would use for hunting also at parks and schools and stuff like that, I would be choosing to use the tracker. But the Monster is my choice for because I have both detectors when I'm out prospecting, and like I say, I've found a lot of nice gold with it. Both of these machines, the VLFs, really better for shallow gold conditions. So if you have old gold prospecting or old areas along rivers, or areas, like I say, where the miners worked by hydraulic mining in the past or other things. Also for mine dumps, if you want to go detect on mine dumps, these VLF detectors are the much better choice because of their better discrimination. So for shallow gold, small gold, mine dumps and that kind of stuff, VLFs are great detectors. Like I say, I've found awful lot of gold with mine. And of course, it's for shallow gold and focus on small gold, but if there's a decent sized nugget that's comparatively shallow, you will see it with this other detector. So it's just a bigger gold down deep. If you got a nugget that's down a foot, it's going to have to be gigantic in order for this to see it. If you got a little 1 gram nugget that's down a foot, this isn't going to see it. Even a 3 or 4 gram nugget that's down a foot, it isn't going to see it. So, that's my recommendation. If you want to find out more, I have a partnership with High Plains, and also I wrote a book to give you the skills if you want to learn more about nugget detecting, you want to learn more about the kind of places you can go and how to find gold. My book, it's called Fistful of Gold. I'm going to tell you about it in a second, but I also am going to tell you about my partners at High Plains who sell these types of equipment, these types of detectors, of course, also other types of detectors if you're interested in them. And I'll tell you a little bit more about High Plains and about my my book right now. This is my book, Fistful of Gold. It's an encyclopedia of everything you need to know to go out and find gold for yourself. It distills down my 45 years of experience out in the field prospecting, as well as my degree in mine engineering. It's, like I say, an encyclopedia. There's a lot to it. It's over 250,000 words long, hundreds of pages with hundreds of illustrations, teaching you what you need to know about geology, about mining districts, about techniques of finding gold. It covers metal detectors, sluicing, panning, dry washing, high bankers, you name it, it's covered in there. It talks some about platinum and diamonds, but it's mostly about gold because gold is more widespread. It is not so much a book about where to find gold, but a book about how to find gold. Because even if you have a location where gold was mined in the past and you go out there, well, where should you look to be successful in your prospecting, to find the gold that's there? This is the book that's going to tell you that information. I spent most of 10 years writing this book, so I thought a long time about it. It's got, like I say, lots of information and lots of illustrations, and I've had results from people who bought it. It's available on Amazon, but I recommend buying it through High Plains Prospectors, and I'll put a link in the description for buying this book through them. They have a better price than Amazon, and I have a special deal that I'll tell you a little bit more about, where you can get a 5% discount from the price even with that. On Amazon, the book rates a 4.7 out of 5, which means that of all the people that have bought it, they've been really highly satisfied, and I think you, if you buy my book, will be just as highly satisfied as well. Now let's talk a little bit more about High Plains Prospectors. They're a prospecting shop, a mail order prospecting shop that I've partnered with. The deal is that I can get you a 5% discount, a coupon code, and I'm going to put the code to that right here. It's just Chris Ralph, all caps with no space between Chris and Ralph. You put that in there as a discount code and you'll get 5% off their already really good prices. I think it's a great deal where you win by getting a discount, I get a little percentage of that, and they get new business. So if you need prospecting supplies, High Plains is really the way to go. And I'll put information, like I say, in the description more about how you can work with them, because I'm working with them. They really are great guys, a great company. For even more information, I also have a website, and I'm going to show you my webpage and talk a little bit more about that right now.
This is my webpage. It's located at nevadaoutbackgems.com. You can Google it, or I have a link down in the description below. But there's lots of information here, miscellaneous stuff, pictures, some historic information as well, stories. It's got a lot of great fun stuff. You'll probably be interested in it.
Now, on all of my YouTube videos, I encourage you guys to ask questions. If you have thoughts, comments, suggestions for things that I ought to look at in my videos, things that you want to find out more about, and I answer 100% of my questions. There's not very many YouTubers out there that answer 100% of their questions. I'm one of the few. And so I will do my best to answer what you have. I mean, I only can write so much. Sometimes the answer is something where I'm going to recommend that you buy the book and read about it. I also ask that you subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification so that every time I come out with a new video, you'll be able to watch it. And like I say, I cover a huge amount of topics. I also have 250 videos that I've already done. And so you can go back through my catalog of videos on YouTube. I'm sure there'll be many videos there that you'll want to take a look at, especially if you have any interest in gold or platinum, diamonds, gemstones, geology, and that sort of stuff. My YouTube site is going to be right up your alley. So I'll see you again real soon. We'll be out in the field and back in the office at the whiteboard, and whether we're looking at gold or platinum, diamonds, gemstones, or other interesting geology, it's going to be fun. You're going to enjoy it, and we'll see you again real soon.